Welcome, all listeners, to our wonderful podcast learning about phonetics and phonology. Juan Carlos Salas greets you today. We have our experts in phonology, Daniela, Jessica, and Erica, who are here to talk about syllabus structures, accent, and rhythm in English. At the end of this episode, we will have enough information to know what these concepts refer to, and with the help of examples, to have the ability to identify them in our daily life. Let's begin. What does the term syllabus structure refer?
Now, JC, this is an interesting term and it refers to how syllables are formed. We know that a syllable is a group of one or more sounds. A syllable can have three parts: onset, nucleus, and coda. The onset and coda are consonants or consonant groups that appear at the beginning and the end of the syllable, respectively. The nucleus is a vowel that forms the center of the syllable.
Okay. Could you illustrate us with an example of it, Erica?
Of course, the essential part of a syllable is a vowel sound, that is, the nucleus. Some syllables consist of a single vowel sound, for example, I. However, other vowel sounds can be preceded by one or more consonants. We will be talking about onset. For example, for one consonant we have the word pie, and in the case of two consonants we have try, and for three consonants we have spray. But we also have that a vowel can be followed by one or more consonants, and that is when the coda comes in action. For example, with a consonant we have the case of the word it, and for two consonants we have the case of the word its, and for three consonants we have the example of the word text.
But, Jessica, what is the use of knowing syllabus structures in English?
because it helps us significantly improve. Number one, pronunciation by identifying audible vowel sounds and applying syllabic stress correctly. Number two, decoding and coding by knowing how to break words into smaller units of sound. Number three, fluency by producing more natural speech. Number four, memorizing new vocabulary by better associating sound. Number five, all communication ensures that the message is clearly understood by native speakers.
Now, I would like to return to the topic of accent. What is the accent?
Stress is a degree of force or prominence given to a syllable or word, or is an extra loudness given to a particular syllable or word in order to give emphasis. We have two kinds. We have two kinds of stress. One word stress show what a syllables in a word are stressed. For example, Frenches, where the stress mark is represented on the letter A, meaning the A sound should be stressed. Another example could be interior, where the stress mark is placed on the second syllable. Oversee is another example where the stress is in the last syllable.
And the second kind is the sentence stress. Shows which word in a sentence is stressed, and these words called content words give meaning to the sentence. Among them we have main verbs, nouns, adjectives, adverbs, negatives, WH words, interjections. For example, I have to go to school. In this sentence have go and school are the stressed words that give the true meaning to the sentence. At the same time, we have words in a sentence known as function words that are not stressed and tend to disappear when speaking. Among them we have article, conjunctions, prepositions, pronouns, auxiliary verbs. In our example, I have to go to school. I and to almost disappear.
And, Erica, what is the point of understanding how this accent works?
Look, Juan Carlos, English speakers, especially the British, are famous for eating words when they speak. And this is due to the accent. Although in English the difference between stressed and unstressed syllables is greater, and this causes a big problem for students when understanding. Hence, the importance of taking into account that the accent serves to facilitate communication. Imagine someone asks you, "How are you today?" Probably from the three stressed syllables, you will be able to guess that the question is, "How are you today?" On the other hand, it would be impossible to find out if you found yourself only with the unstressed syllables that are and to. In such a way that the syllables that are lost because they are not stressed are not so important to understand the meaning of the phrase. For this reason, we give greater emphasis to the syllables that really provide meaning, since this helps us to be understood better.
Okay. With this example, it is clear. Now, I would like to talk about what rhythm is. Can you help us, Daniela?
In English phonetics, rhythm refers to the natural pattern of stressed and unstressed syllable that gives the language its distinctive flow and cadence. The rhythm of English word is closely tied to stress patterns. Once you know which word in the sentence need emphasis, you need to know which syllables to stress within each word. Next, you must learn to use syllables and rhythm along with intonation in English to convey the exact meaning of your sentence and add subtlety and emotion to your speech.
Here, I would like to emphasize that English has a regular rhythm, with the sound of the language organized around stressed syllables. English is also a stressed rhythm language, meaning that equal time is devoted to each stressed syllable within a sentence. And equal time is devoted to the pauses between syllables. In this way, unstressed syllables are shortened to fit the rhythm and cadence of the sentence.
Erica, I would like you to go deep into this point, please.
This means that unstressed syllables in English often sound very weak and can sometimes barely be heard. These words are said to have a weak form, as the speaker lowers the vowel and pronounces it quickly to get to the next stressed word. Unstressed syllables can be lengthened to take up more time between stressed syllables. This is how the speaker creates the correct or expected rhythm. Likewise, syllables can be sharpened if there is less time between stress. This syllabic expansion and contraction occurs so that the overall rhythm of the sentence remains constant. This constant rhythm in English phonetics is essential to the sound and sonority of the language. Unstressed syllables are always pronounced faster than stressed syllables, which also helps the listener focus on the most important words, the stressed ones. For example, in the sentence, "I saw a tree," the words "I" and "a" are unstressed, while "saw" and "tree" are stressed. That's why they are the ones that are heard the most. All pauses between syllables last approximately the same length because the sentence has an accentual rhythm. This creates the natural rhythm of English phonetics and is how native speakers can understand sentences so quickly, even if they omit some words.
Okay, so in conclusion, we can say that the listener does not only hear the individual's words, but also the rhythm, music, and melody, which allows them to understand rapidly. And when students begin to understand their connections between sounds and successfully reproduce the rhythms of English, they discover that native speakers understand them much faster.
Exactly, and this improves their motivation as they feel their fluency increase, and this becomes a conversational skill that develops a kind of intuition for the language.
Well, friends, we have reached the end of this episode, and we've shared on screen a list of resources that support the information provided in this podcast, which you can access for more information. We thank our panel of experts who joined us today, and we hope that the information provided will help you perfect your fluency and conversational skills with great success. And we will see you in the next episode of your favorite podcast, learning about phonetics and phonology together.